Good morning, students. Today we will continue our chapter Ivan tries an O level. Ivan has escaped from the prison under the nose of the governor of Oxford prison, Stephen Jackson, and many other expert and experienced officers failed. Governor, and now he has discovered the plan of Ivan because McCleary, who was thinking that the invigilator, actually he was not the same person who was appointed to invigilate the exam of Ivan, because the original McCleary was already appeared in his own room in church. So governor is, I think, full of complete knowledge that how and why Ivan has really succeeded to win the all security, the all kind of protection programs by the governor. Here at the page number 87, students, though a pen stuck in the mouth whenever the evil eye had appeared at the peephole, easy, but all that fiddling about under the blanket with the black front and the stud at back of the collar, that had been far more difficult than they would ever bargain for everything. Student, as you know that Ivan demand for a blanket during his exam. He was feeling cold inside the prison cell. That is why he permitted by the Jackson to have a blanket, and it was all a blanket because he was used the blanket like a prop, and inside that he changed his cloth according to the same appearance of Mr. McCleary, that had been far more difficult than they would ever bargain for. Everything else had gone beautifully, smoothly, though in the car he would found everything. They would promise him soap and water, close the map, yes the map of course, and water, close the map, yes the map of course, the Ordnance Survey, map of the Oxfordshire. He would got some good friend, some very clever friend, Christ. He unlocked the bedroom door and closed it quietly behind him, then stood frozen to spot like a man who has just caught a glimpse of Gorgon. Ivan, who was thinking himself very smart, that of course he has really cheated governor and he was successful to escape from the prison cell. He was enjoying his freedom. He opened the door of his room in the hotel, but suddenly he was shocked to see something in front of him. Sitting on the narrow bed was the very last man in the world that Ivan had expected or wanted to see. Who was that? Just guess, student. Yes, of course, it was the governor. It's not worth trying anything, said the governor quietly, as Ivan's eyes darted desperately around the room. I have got men around the place. Well, there were only two really, but Ivan needn't know that. He let the word sink in. The women too. Didn't you think the blonde girl in the reception was rather sweet? What is the meaning of the blonde girl? Blonde, it means the person with the light golden hair. The receptionist was over there and she was changed by the governor. Ivan was visibly shaken. He sat down slowly in only the chair the small room could offer, held his head between his hands for several minutes. There was utter silence. Ivan was motionless. He was confused, he was perplexed, he was disturbed, he was shocked and everything. Finally he spoke. It was that bloody correction slip, I suppose. The correction slip, students, I think you remember that during the Ivan's exam, there was a phone call from the examination secretary board that there is a correction inside the paper of the Ivan. So actually that was not the correction slip. It was the helping ad for the Ivan. The governor failed to mask the deep satisfaction in his wife. Mask, it means to say hide. Governor was satisfied. Rather, he was very satisfied. Finally, he got Ivan again. Slowly, very slowly, Ivan relaxed. He was beaten and he knew it. He sat up at last and managed to smile ruefully. You know, it wasn't really. What is the meaning of ruefully, student? With sorrow or regret. Ruefully means the sorrow and regret. You know, it wasn't really a mistake. You see, we had not been able to fix up any hotel but we could have worked that some other way. No, the really important thing was for the phone to ring just before the exam finish, to get everyone out of the way for a couple of minutes. So yes, of course, we had know exactly when the exam started, didn't we? And like a fool, I presented you with that little piece of information on a plate. Governor called himself a fool because he already has provided all the clue Ivan was expecting inside the prison cell unknowingly. Well, somebody did. So you see, sir, that correction slip killed two little birds with a single stone, didn't it? The name of the hotel for me, and exact time the exam started forever. The governor nodded. It's a pretty common word. Good job. It is pretty common, sir. Oh, I would never have known where to come to, would I? Nice name though, Zum Golden Loin. It's the language of the German words, student. The Zum Goldenen Loin, it means to say golden loin. There's hundreds of them. Same as you, Ivan. Index number was 313, center number 271. Remember 6 figures. And you take an Ordnance Survey map for Oxfordshire. You find that the 6-figure reference 313271 lands you bang in the middle of Chipping Norton. Yeah, you are right. Yeah, we would open. You had run off to the Newbury. We did. Well, that's something, I suppose. The question paper, Ivan, could you really understand all the German? I could hardly. Governor was too very smart. Of course, he very cleverly he was find out all the correction slip, all the meaning of the evidence he got inside the prison cell, and now he is asking, he was doing some queries with Ivan about his escape from the prison. Now of course I couldn't, I knew roughly what it was all about, but he just opened it through a few spanner in works, you know, sort of muddle everybody a bit. The governor stood up. Tell me one thing before we go. How on earth did you get all the blood to pour over your head? Governor resolute everything, but he was confused about the blood, because Ivan, who was pretending to be very injured inside the prison, actually he was not injured. The bleeding, the severely bleeding, we were really upset about it. Actually it was not the original blood that was floating from the head of the Ivan. So here the governor is asking about, he was really very confused how and where he got the blood from there. Ivan suddenly looked a little happier. Clever, sir, very clever. Ivan is happy. Why he is feeling happy? There is something that could not be actually solved by the governor. Oh, get a couple to pints of blood into a cell. What is the meaning of the pints here? Small liquid measure, some drops of blood inside the prison cell. When the invigilator, shall we say, gets searched before comes in? Yes, sir, you can well ask about that. And I don't know if I ought to tell you. After all, I might want to use that particular anything to do with a little rubber ring for piles. Perhaps Ivan grinned feebly. Clever though, wasn't it? The rubber ring, when McLeary entered inside the prison cell, and before entering inside the D wing, he was properly he was checked by the Stephen and the Jackson. Also he had some reading glasses, magazines, question papers, and a paper knife. And one thing that was really different find on the Jackson, it was the rubber ring. And after asking why he has used these kind of thing, he replied that he is suffering from the problem of pile. He is unable to sit properly for a long time without the help of this rubber ring. It means what kind of blood inside the rubber ring, and some other mystery will be resolved, student, but it will be resolved in tomorrow. So continue the chapter. Goodbye. Thank you.